258th session.
Ayodhya
Kanda, no 118th Sarga, we will continue. Vinayakanam astubhyam satatam modaka priya nirvighnam kuruno deva sarvakaryeshu sarvada astubhyam varade kamarupini vidyarambham karishyamah siddhyam bhavatu no sada Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulям Ramanama Vararane Apadam Pahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Abhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Shri Raghavam Dasharathatmajamaprameyam Sitapatim Raghukulam Vayaratnadipam Ajanubahum Aravinda Dalayataksham Ramam Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami Shri Raghurama Chara Tulasi Daladhama Shamakshama Shangara Gunabhirama Vijayamata Shaurya Ramalalama Durva Kabandharakshasa Vigama Sharnavottarakanama Bhadragiri Dasha Anjaneyamatipaṭalalanam Kanchanadrikamaniyya Vigraham Parijata Tarumolavasinam Bhavayami Pavamananandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Anjalim Bashpavari Paripurnalochanam Mahim Namatarakshasantakam Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam Nirbhaya Patutpancha Hanu Matsmaranat Bhavet Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhura Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. Adyatana Panchangam, May 9th, 2026. Parabhavanama Samvatsare, Uttarayani Vasantaratau, Vaishakhamase, Krishna Pakshe, Ashtami Titihi, throughout the day and almost till 5:36 a.m. Sthiravasaraha, or Ravivasaraha, Shravana Nakshatram, till 1:54 p.m. followed by Dhanishta Nakshatram. Shukla Yoga till 5:06 p.m. followed by Brahma Yoga. Bharatkiranam till 5:09
Capsicum डालेंगे
Can you please go on mute if you're not talking, please? Thank you.
So Balava Yoga till 5:09 p.m. followed by Kaulava Yoga, Kaulava Karanam till 5:36 a.m. coinciding with the ending of Ashtami Tithi, followed by Taitala Karanam. Sarvebhyah Suprabhatam. So last time we started the 118th Sarga, where after anasUyA ji started explaining about the Pativratas and blessed sItA with the best gifts that she could give, the divine gifts. And then she said, hey, please tell some stories. And as part of that, sItA started telling about how, the whole, how she was born and all. And so, especially then she asked, by the way, Swayamvare kila prapta tvamanena yashasvina raghavena iti me sItA katha shrutim upagata tam katham shrotumichhami vistarena cha maithili yathalubhutam kartsnena tanme tvam vaktumarhasi. I heard that you were, obtained by Rama in Swayamvara, and that's what I heard. And I would like to hear about it in detail from you in entirety. And you can narrate me. I have all the time to listen. Eva muktavatu sa sItA tam tato dharmacharinim shruyatam iti chokya vai kathayamasa tam katham. And then, all right, I'll tell you my story. Mithiladhipatir Viro Janako Rama Dharmavit Kshatra Dharme Hyabhirato Nyayata Shasti Medinim. A great person by name Janaka, who is sincerely devoted in his Kshatra Dharma, in ruling the land and people of Mithila by name Janaka. And so from here we will continue. tasya langalahastasya
तस्य लाङ्ग्यहस्तस्य
karshatah kshetramandalam
कर्षकक्षेत्रमण्डलम्
aham kilotthita bhitva
अहं किलोक्लि मिथ्वा
aham kilotthita
अहं किलोत्थिता मिथ्या
bhitva
मिथ्वा
jagatim nrupate suta.
जगतीं नृपते सुता.
So tasya langalahastasya karshatah tasya kshetramandalam karshatah langalahastasya aham kila jagatim bhitva uttita nrupate suta. And she is introducing herself that way, saying tasya, that Janaka, when he was kshetra mandalam, kshetram is the farm or land, especially in this case when he wanted to do a yajna, and before that you try to clean the whole land, you level it, and you plow it, all of that, and you start that work with the langalam. Langalam is a plow only, right?
It's already clear.
Plow. So with the plow, that plow is called langalam. So langala hastasya, with his hand plowing, while he was plowing the kshetra mandalam. Aham kila, isn't it? Kila means, isn't it? Right? Okay? These kind of suffixes that we typically use, right, in conversation. So that expression is called kila. Aham kila jagatim bhitva uttita. Here Jagati is Bhumi. I was as he was plowing the land, I came out of it, or I got stuck and got pulled up. Uttita, I woke up, or woke up is literal meaning, but I arose from the ground, or I was taken out of the ground by his plow. Jagatim Bhitva, as he was cutting the earth, through plowing the earth, I got lifted out. Nrupatehe Sutha, I became the daughter of that king. In fact, in Balakanda, we don't hear this story. So this is the other part of the details that we hear directly from Sita's mouth in answering or in narrating in response to anasUya's request. Samam drishtva narapatihi
समां दृष्ट्वा नरपतिः
मुष्टि विक्षेप तत्परः
मुष्टिविक्षेपतत्परः
पांसु कुंठित सर्वांगीं
पांसुकुण्ठितसर्वाङ्गीं
जनको विस्मितो भवत्.
जनको विस्मितोऽभवत्.
So Janakah vismitah abhavat. He was surprised, amazed. What? A baby in the earth? Wow. So vismitah abhavat. Janakah vismitah abhavat. By seeing what? Saha mam drishtva. By seeing me, by having found me, he got excited and amazed at how he found me. And what kind of how was I looking? Pamsu kuntita sarvangim. I was, all my body, entire body was pamsu kuntita. Pamsu is dust, because mud, because I was buried in the earth, or I was not buried, but I was under the earth. So I was full of dust. Pamsu kuntita sarvangim. Mushti vikshepa tatparaha. Mushti is gata aushadhi prakshepanashilaha. So, though it is dust, we might think mud, but it is aushadhi. And they say that the earth was so pure that children used to, relish the taste of earth. Children normally back in the old days in India, they say if children, as they were playing on the ground, very chilled, very infants, as they crawl, and at that time they would eat mud. And we know the best example is from Krishna himself.
Yeah.
Right? Amma mannu tinangane. Shishumuni, we have that great sloka also, where when Balarama comes, Amma, Mama, look, Krishna is eating mud. Hey, did you? That story anyway we know. So, Aushadhi, it is actually Aushadhi. Earth is so healthy, it is Aushadhi. From that only, all Aushadhis also come, right? All our herbs grow, all our food grows, everything is from earth. So anyway, so Mushti Vikshepa Tatparaha is, Mushti here is Gata Aushadhi Prakshepana Shilaha. By finding her, as he lifted her, he could smell all that Aushadhis from her, all the medicinal herbs, fragrance from her. So Mushti Vikshepa Tatparaha Pamsakundita Sarvangim Drishtva Janakaha Vismitaha Abhavat. Anapatyena cha snehat
अनपत्येन च स्नेहात्
Ankamaropya cha swayam
अङ्कमारोप्य च स्वयं
Mameyam Tanayetyuktva
ममेयं तनयुत्वा
Sneho Mayi Nipatitaha.
स्नेहो मयि निपातितः.
So as soon as he found that, then he called all his everybody around, because he's doing it for yajna sake, right? So he'll have his army, ministers, and others there. So he called all of them, and gurus also, and in front of everybody, anapatyena, apatyam means children, anapatyam, no children. Till then he didn't have children. Janaka Maharshi didn't, Janaka Maharaj didn't have children. So he declared, anapatyena cha snehat, with all affection, with all love, Ankam Aropya, Ankam is laps, by putting her on his laps. Laps meaning, I mean, such a young infant you cannot directly put on laps, but essentially having her in his hands, lying on his laps. Ankam Aropya cha Swayam, by himself, Iyam Mama Tanaya Ityuktva. In fact, two such great sentences so far. Iyam Sita Mama Suta, we heard in the Balakandam. And sItA is saying that he declared to everybody, Iyam Mama Tanaya, Mameyam, Mama plus Iyam is Gunasandhi, Mameyam Tanaya. This is my daughter. Tanaya is a great term. Tanu is body. In fact, Tanuja is also a great such term. Born out of my body. She is my body. Extension of my body is called Tanaya. Tanaya. Tanuja, all of these are born out of my body. Tanaya is my own body in Strilinga. So Tanaya Mama Iyam Ityuktva Snehaha Mayi Nipatitaha. He has showered all his affection on me as his best child ever, or most beloved daughter. Antarikshe Chavagukta
Antarikshe cha
Vagukta
Vagukta
Apratima Manushi Kila
Apratima Manushi Kila
Evametan Narapati
Evametan Narapate
Dharmena Tanaya Tava.
Dharmena Tanaya Tava.
In those days, when such great people do great, if they utter something, the Panchabhutas, they would respond back. That's why Akashvani, all of those things, they respond back. And in fact, I remember there is one Telugu online patrika called Gayatri, Sri Gayatri, every monthly patrika from India, great, from all great scholars, they compose articles and they compose a PDF called Sri Gayatri. And their caption shloka is a beautiful quote from Veda, Aptavakyam it is called. Rishinam cha sadhunam, or Rishinam cha sadhunam Vag bhavam anuvartate Sadhunam cha किल मनुष्याणां bhavam vaganuvartate. So what they say is, for normal good beings, human beings, if they are good, normally all of us, our speech follows our thought, which means we want to say something, then first there is a thought in our mind, and then we try to manifest it with some words. So bhavam vak anuvartate. But however, for rishinam cha sadhunam, bhavam vaganuvartate. If whatever they utter becomes their feeling. If they utter something, that is truth. And hence, whether it is Ramayana, Mahabharata, when we read from in our Sanskrit classes, and in some of these bhashyams also you will read ityarsham, they will say. That means as per Panini grammar, it doesn't exactly comply. You cannot derive how did this transformation of this world take place here. That should not have been the vibhakti, or that should have been the tense lakara. But because Maharshi used it, it is true. So it is called arsham, ityarsham, arsha prayoga, they say. It is used by rishis, so that is correct. However, we should not do that. Is how in the grammar part they say. Similarly, when such great people, when they say something and they announce something, or when they say something, immediately the nature responds back with their blessings, or with seconding their statement. So, antarikshecha vak ukta, in the space, then there was a sound that came back from the space, saying what? And that was apratima amanushi kila, isn't it? If a sound came from the space, it was neither a manifested body nor a human being who said it. But what did they say? Evam etat narapate dharmena tanaya tava. All right, we are certifying that by dharma she is your daughter, unless somebody claims. In spite of this claim, all the other rascal kings of that time who wanted to claim Sita have, as we have read right in Balakanda in detail, the narration is there as to how they all terrorize Janaka and Mithila by surrounding around. When Janaka's brother goes and fights them, all of that, the whole entire story goes of how having been unable to succeed the challenge posed by Janaka to stake a claim on having Sita ji, of lifting that Shivadhanus. He only said lifting. That itself nobody could. And when all of them failed to, they have what do you say? What do bad people do when you fail? You go and beat them. So they try to terrorize Janaka. So I'm just recollecting that story, that from Balakanda, because in spite of Antariksham, the divine voice from Antariksha saying, Evam etat, so shall it be, Narapate, O king, Dharmena tanaya tava, by dharma she is going to be your daughter. Tatah prarushto dharmatma,
ततः प्रविष्टो धर्मात्मा
Pita me mithiladhipaha,
पिता मे मिथिलाधिपः
avapto vipulam riddhim,
अवाप्तो विपुलां
riddhim,
वृद्धिं
mam avapya naradhipaha,
माम् अवाप्य
naradhipaha.
नराधिपः.
So Sitaji is very proudly claiming. Some of us we say, right? And several we would have heard this. After my first child was born, then suddenly my life got a big turn. Or after my second child was born, then I got this big promotion, or this big property, this big, whatever happiness, all of that. We hear that so many times. Similarly, probably Janakaji would have said it 100 times as Sita was growing up. So, having heard it multiple times, Sita is very proudly saying now. Tataha, then after that, me धर्मात्मा मिथिलाधिपः प्रहृष्टः पिता माम अवाप्य नराधिपः विपुलां वृद्धिम् अवाप्तः. Then my father, Pita, who is a Dharmatma, and also Mithiladhipaha, head of the or ruler of the Mithila province, Prahrushtaha, very, very happy. He continued to be happy. Why? Because Mam Avapya Vipulam Ruddhim Avaptaha. Riddhi, Siddhi. Siddhi is obtaining something. Riddhi is keeping it safe and growing it. From there only that Vriddhi word also comes. But Riddhi is more of a Vedic term there. So Riddhi, Siddhi, Riddhi. In fact, some of us in Maharashtra, they say even Ganeshi, the two three Shaktis of his on both sides are Siddhi and Riddhi. Some people say Siddhi Buddhi, but Siddhi Riddhi also. So Riddhim Avaptaha, from there he obtained great his wealth, his richness progressed amazingly from there after having found me. Dattachasmishtavat devyai
दत्ताच अस्मि
Ishtavat devyai
इष्टदेव्ये
Ishtavat devyai
इष्टवत् देव्ये
ज्येष्ठायै पुण्यकर्मणा
ज्येष्ठायै पुण्यकर्मणा
तया संभाविता चास्मि
तया सम्भाविता च अस्मि
स्निग्धया मातृसौहृदात्.
स्निग्धया मातृसौहृदात्.
So, Punyakarmana, with all those divine, through several divine activities, auspicious activities, Jyeshtayai Ishtavat Devyai Datta Asmi. I was offered to, as the eldest daughter, I was offered to their Ishtadevata. Taya Sambhavita Chasmi Snigdhaya Matru Sauhridat. With all the affection from my mother also, Snigdhaya Sambhavita Asmi. With all love, since then I was, I was raised with all love by my mother since then. Pati Samyoga Sulabham
पति संयोग सुलभम
Vayo Drishtva me Pita
वयो दृष्ट्वा तु मे पिता
Chintam Abhyagamat Dinaha
चिंताम अभ्यागवत देनः
Vittanasha Divadhanaha Vittanasha Divadhanaha.
वित्तनाशा दिवादनः.
Uttam. So as she grew and she was becoming into teenage, and as the father thought, okay, now it's time to find a good, partner for Sita. Pati Samyoga Sulabham, when it found appropriate time to find a pati for Sita, Vayaha Drishtva, by also having realized the age, right apt age for Sita, me Pita Chintam Abhyagamat. He got into worry. Why? Because Sita is a divine lady. How will I find a matching husband for her? And see how concerned is this father. How will I find a matching husband? Chintam Abhyagamat Dinaha. he became very, very, very sorrowful, or very, what do you say, Dina is very worrisome. He was very much worried. And the example given is Vittanashat iva adhanaha. If somebody lost all his vitta, all his wealth, and became adhanaha, became pauper, how much would he worry? Ayyo, I lost all my money that I had. Why did I burn it in Bitcoin? Why did I trust this useless fellow who's a scammer without knowing and burnt away all my ARA? Like that, if I cry, and I did cry. So much of worry, Janaka started building about how to find a right person for sItA, right partner for sItA. Sadrushat Chapakrishtach.
Sadrashat Chapis.
Chapakrishtach.
Sadrashat Chap Kristach.
Loke Kanya Pita Janat.
Loke Kanya Pita Janat.
Pradharshanam avapnoti.
Pradarshman apnoti.
Shakrenapi samo bhuvi.
Shakrenapi samo bhuvi.
So, Chapakristat Sadrushat. In fact, these next 2-3 lines if we read, that's why I say Ramayanam is so, I don't see it ancient at all. Because it is all about humans, and humans don't change. This good, bad, what is it? Good, bad, ugly, whatever that. All those three, they continue as it is. So, Sadrushat cha, Apakrishtat cha. So, Chapakristat cha. So, Kanya Pita Janat Loke Pradharshanam Avapnoti. Pradharshanam is Anadaranam Avapnoti. Shakrena api samaha bhuvi. Even though he is as powerful ruler as Shakra, Indra, Kanya Pita, just because he is father of a daughter, Loke, in the world, Janat Pradharshanam avapnoti. Because he is father of a daughter, to find an equivalent or a worthy husband, and in that process, if you deny some matches, you will start facing bad repute. People will start talking rumors. These fellows, they will never get a husband, they will never get a boy, like that. So even though Shakrena Samaha Api, Loke Janat, from people, Pradharshanam Avapnoti. Why? Because Sadrushat Cha Apakrishtat. Sadrushat is Kuladina Swatulyat Varapitradehe. Apakrishtat Varamatuladesh. In order to find a worthy man from a similar, capable, equivalent, matching family, people will start, and in failing there, people will start calling all rumors. Tam dharshanam adurastham.
Tam dashnam adurastham.
Adurastham. Drishtva chatmani parthivaha.
Drishta chatmani
Parthivaha.
parthivaha.
Chintarnavagatah param.
Chintarnavagatah param.
Nasa sada plavo yatha.
Nasa sada plavo yatha.
So sItA has observed all of this. So Valmiki actually didn't narrate in this detail in Balakanda. But sItA is narrating now because she saw the worry of her father in her ripe or in her prime age when she had to get married. So she is narrating all this in detail of the mental state of her father. Tam dharshanam adurastham drishtva. sItA was a dharshana. sItA is unmatchable. I mean, you cannot face her. is one, or the other word is tam varapitradi dharshanam tiraskritam. Some matches having rejected, she becomes then dharshana, tam dharshana, one who had to reject matches that were coming for her. She becomes dharshana. Tam dharshanam adurastham drishtva parthivaha atmani chintarnavagataha. By how many matches shall we reject like this? Everybody is coming, but nobody is a right match for Sita. So Chintarnavagataha, my father ended up into an ocean, a sea of sorrow, ocean of sorrow. Arnava is an ocean or sea, big sea. So Chinta Arnava, ocean of sorrow. Gataha Param Nasasada. He could not, come out of that. He could not come to the shore out of it. He could not float, swim, and come over it. Aplavo yatha. Just as one without a aplavaha. If you don't have a float, how can you cross the ocean? You need a boat or a steamer or a ship or something, right? Plavaha is float. Aplavaha. One without a float is aplavaha. So aplavaha yatha tatha pita parthivaha na asasada. So he could not cross it. Ayonijam himam nyatva.
Ayonijam hi mam gyatva
Nadhyagachat vichantayan.
nadyagachat chintayan vichintayan
Sadrusham chanurupam cha
sadrisham cha anurupam cha
mahipalah patim mama.
mahipalah patim mama.
Mahipalah mama patim sadrusham cha anurupam cha na adhyagachat chintayan. He could not make a decision how to, or he could not make a decision, he could not make a plan of how to find the right person. Anurupam, somebody who is as beautiful or as handsome to match with Sita. And Sadrusham, so Sita herself is so powerful, and she tells later how she is so powerful. And she is Ayonija anyway, not born out of a biological reason. Ayonijam himam nyatva, knowing me to be born not out of a biological process. Na adhyagachat, he could not come to a plan or an analysis or a solution. He could not arrive at a solution of how to find the right person who is as handsome as beautiful I am, and as worthy of the divinity as I am. Tasya buddhiriyam jata.
तस्य बुद्धिं जाता
Chintayanasya santatam.
चिन्तया एतस्य सन्ततम्
Chintayanasya
ओके चिन्तयानस्य सन्ततं
santatam.
सन्ततं
Swayamvaram tanujayah
स्वयंवरं तनुजाया
karishyami iti dhimatah.
करिष्यामपि धीमतः
Dhimatah. So dhimataha means of the dhiman. Dhiman shashti apostrophe s is dhimataha. Dhimataha tasya iyam buddhihi jata. Chintayanasya iyam buddhihi jata. Santatam chintayanasya. One who of that intellect king who was constantly brooding about this only. about this worry. Finally made up his mind this way, Chintayanasya iyam buddhihi jata. He made up this mind that Tanujayaha swayamvaram karishyami. Of this, my daughter, I shall announce swayamvaram, so that I am not able to find the right one. Let Sita decide. I'll provide all options to her. Let her pick whom she likes. Mahayajne tada tasya
महायज्ञे तदा तस्य
varunena mahatmana
वरुणेन महात्मना
dattam dhanurvaram pritya
दत्तं धनुर्वरं प्रीत्या
tuni
प्रीत्या
chakshayasayakau.
तूणीचाक्षसायकौ
Akshayasayakau.
चाक्ष अक्षय
Akshayasayakau.
अक्षयसायकौ.
So then, so the other past event is now coming out, which we also read in Balakand also. Tada, then means then in that past, when Janaka was making this decision, then he remembered about the past when then tasya mahatmana varunena dhanurvaram tunicha akshayasayakau pritya dattam. Then he remembered that in that one Mahayajna, when Janaka was performing long time ago, Varuna Devata, on behalf of Indra, came and requested and offered. I mean, here it is one line is gave, Dattam, gave. But essentially, they have requested Janaka to preserve this Shivadhanush. Dhanurvaram, best dhanu, best bow. And Tuni, cha akshayasayako. Tuni is the quiver with akshaya, infinite number of arrows in it. Like that, what is it called that? Originally pistol with a cabinet of only 6 bullets. Then big gun of, let's say, a bigger cabinet of maybe 40 bullets in it. Then came that whole belt chain, as we see in the army movies. That chain will be a chain of probably 100, 500 bullets. Now imagine infinite, akshaya sayako. Infinite at least as in, 1,000, 10,000 bullets at least, right? Similarly here, arrows, akshaya sayako. You will keep getting one after another. And such a, or this bow with a cabinet, which from where you can release continuously arrows after arrows after arrows. So Tunicha Akshaya Sayako Dhanurvaram Pritya Dattam. Let's read the Bhashyam also. Swayamvara Prakaramaha Mahayajna iti Tada Tasmin Mahayajne Daksha Kartruka Mahayaga Samaye. In the time of Daksha, when he was Daksha, he was performing the Mahayaga. Mahatmana Varunena Varunadwara Shivajñapita Daivataihi, by the order of Shiva, Dhanurvaram Dattam. So a little more detail is Devaraja Namika Nimi Jeshta Putraya iti Seshaha. Nimi's son, Devarajana, and from there, through generation after generation, this detail, that bow and those arrows were preserved. Originally, during Daksha time, Daksha, when he was performing the yajna, and Shiva becomes mad and he uses his dhanu, and after that, when he goes back, he becomes Shantaha, and when he goes back to his tapas and all, then he asks, Indra, saying, Indra, please take care of this. I don't need it anymore now. And that's how, then Indra thinks where to do, what to do. So he asks Varuna to carry it and give to Nimi. That time the king then was Nimi. Nimi's son is Devaraja. Devaraja Namaka Nimi Jeshta Putraya Dattam. And from there it came generation after generation, even till Janaka Maharaj. Akshaya Sayako Tunicha Datto Kincha Varunena Shambhuscha Asau Aruno Lohitascha Varuna Tena. Shambhu himself is another Bhashya etymology expansion is saying. By saying Varuna here, what does it mean? Uhu Shambhuscha Asau Arunaha Lohitascha Varunaha. So he's because red, Shambhu is red, and so he's Lohitaha. Uhu, because of U, which is also equivalent to Shambhu. So plus Varuna became plus Aruna became Varuna. It can also be meaning that Varuna here is none other than Shiva himself. Is another Bhashyakara here. He's saying Svabhaga Kalpana Janita Kopa Hetuka Aruna Kopa Hetu Karunya Vishishta Shivena Ityarthaha. Svabhaga Kalpana, Svabhaga Akalpana, by not reserving the space or by not reserving the portion that was supposed to be offered to Shiva also. Janita Kopa Karunya Vishishta Shivena Ityarthaha. That Dakshayajna, all of that story we read in Balakanda. So, as part of that Kopa that came out, because of that also he's Lohitaha, and so U plus Lohitaha is Varuna. U plus Arunaha is Varunaha. Asanchalyam Manushaischa
Asanchalyam Manushescha
Yatnena Picha Gauravat
Yatnenapi ch Gauravat
Tanna Shakta Namayitum
Tanna Shakta Namayitum
Swapneshwapi Naradhipaha.
Swapneshwapi Naradhipaha.
So asanchalyam manushyahi, it could not be handled. Sanchalanam means chalanam is drive, right? Vahanam chalayati. Sanchalayati drives properly. Sanchalyam can be driven. Asanchalyam cannot be driven. Cannot be driven means cannot be operated. Manushyahi yatrena api, even with all possible efforts, nobody could operate it. First of all, to operate it, you should be able to hold it, you should be able to lift it, you should be able to string it, and then build the tension, test it, all of that, right? So, asanchalyam manushyascha yatrena api gauravat. Gauravat here is, gauravam means, we talked about this terminology also. Guru, from Guru comes gauravam. Guru is heavy. So Gauravat means Ati Gurutvat Hetoho. For the reason of the heaviness of that weapon, so it is Gauravat. Because of the heaviness of that weapon, people couldn't even touch it or hold it or try to move it. Asanchalyam, they couldn't even move it. One is operating it, or the other one is even moving, Sanchalanam. They couldn't even move it. Tanna Shakta Namayitum Naradhipaha Swapneshu api. And hence, they could not even, Naradhipa, all the kings, could not even think of dreaming, even Swapneshu api, even in dreams, they could not imagine handling it. And so they said, did namaskar and went away. Namayitum Nashaktaha Swapneshu api Naradhipaha. Tadhanuh prapya me pitra.
Tat dhanu prapya me pitra
Vyahridham satyavadina.
Vyahartam Satyavadina
Samavaye narendrena.
Samavaye Narendranam
नरेन्द्रेणां पूर्वम् आमन्त्र्य पार्थिवान्
पूर्वम् आमन्त्र्य पार्थिवान्
इदं च धनुरुद्यम्य
उद्यम्य
सज्जं च यः कुरुते नरः
सज्जं यः कुरुते नरः
तस्य मे दुहिता भार्या
तस्य मे दुहिता भार्या
भविष्यति न संशयः.
भविष्यति न संशयः.
So then he finally realized, what is the challenge I can give? Whoever tad dhanuhu prapya me pitra satyavadina narendranam samavaye parthivan purvam amantriya vyahritam. By inviting amidst several other kings of his age, etc. Parthivan Purvam, sometime back, Amantriya, by inviting all of them. Narendranam Samavaye, in amidst those kings, Me Pitra Tad Dhanuh Prapya, because my father inherited that Dhanu, Satyavadina Vyahritam, being very known as a truthful person who sticks to his words, Satyavadina Vyahritam, articulated or verbosed or announced by my father, that what? Idam cha dhanuhu yaha naraha udyamya, whoever man, this dhanu, this bow, udyamya, by lifting it up, sajjam cha, by tying the thread, the rope of also. Tasya me duhita bharya bhavishyati. Duhita is daughter. My duhita, tasya bharya bhavishyati. My daughter will become his wife. Na samshayaha. Without doubt, I am announcing now. Tacha drishtva dhanusreshtam.
तच्च दृष्ट्वा धनुश्रेष्ठं तच्च दृष्ट्वा धनुश्रेष्ठं
गौरवाद गिरिसन्निभम
गौरवाद गिरिसन्निभं
अभिवाद्य नृपा
जग्मुः
अशक्तास्तस्य तोलने
अशक्तास्त्यस्य तोलने
तस्य तोलने.
तस्य तोलने सर.
So naradhipaha nrupaha tat dhanusreshtam cha drishtva, by all these kings, then onwards, all the kings, tat dhanusreshtam, the best of the bows, drishtva, by seeing it, that too, that white is best or unique of that, because Gauravat Girisannibham, as heavy as a mountain, Girisannibham, like a rock mountain, so heavy. Heavy doesn't mean not necessarily heavy, but also is so complicated machine. Gauravat Girisannibham, Abhivadya, they did Abhivadana to Amma, please, okay. Jagmuhu Ashaktaha Tasya Tolane, in raising it, and in raising it with this in the middle. Tolanam is, as soon as you raise, if it is heavy, it will tilt one way or the other, but not even able to balance it in their hands. Being unable to raise it and balance it in their hands, they all did namaskaram and went back. Sudirghasya tu kalasya Raghavoyam Mahadyutihi Vishwamitrena Sahitaha Yajñam Drashtum Samagataha Lakshmanena Saha Bhratra Ramas Satya Parakramaha. Sudhirgasya tu kalasya, over a long such period of time, Ayam Mahadyutihi Raghavaha, this glowing, great glowing, illuminating with his character and prowess. Such Raghava, Vishwamitrena Sahitaha, along with Vishwamitra, Ragha Lakshmanena Sahabhratra, along with his brother Lakshmana, Ramaha, Satyaparakramaha, Yajnam Drashtum Samagataha, he came to pay a visit to our Yajna. Vishwamitrastu Dharmatma,
Vishwamitrastu Dharmatma
Mama Pitra Supujitaha,
Mama Pitra Subhujitaha
Provacha Pitaram Tatra,
Provacha Pitaram Tatra
Bhratarau Ramalakshmanau,
Bharatro Rama Lakshmanau
Sutau Dasharathasyeemau,
Sutau Dasharathyemau
Dhanur Darshakangshinau,
Danur Karsha sorry Danur
Darshakangshinau,
Darsha okay Danur Darsha Kangshinau okay got it
Dhanur Darshaya Ramaya,
Danur Darshaya Maya
Rajaputraya Daivikam.
Rajaputraya Devikam
Then finally, Vishwamitraha tu,
Vishwamitrastu
Vishwamitrastu, Mama Pitra Supujitaha,
yeah
Dharmatma, the Dharmatma Vishwamitraha, when he arrived at the Mahayajna that my father was performing, Mama Pitra Supujitaha, first thing was he was worshipped by my father, worshipped as in treated by my father, received, well treated, honored by my father. Tatra Bhratarau Ramalakshmanau Dasharathasya Mama Pitaram Provacha. He said this to my father. What did he say? Dasharathasya Imau Sutau Bhratarau Ramalakshmanau. These two sons of Dasharatha by name and their brothers by name Rama and Lakshmana. And Dhanur Darshakangshinau. They never knew it. But he says, these two are very eager to see that great bow. Daivikam, that divine great bow. They are interested in seeing it. He didn't even say they want to raise it, lift it, whatever. He just said they're eager. Hey, what that great Dhanu, which so many kings could never even attempt to lift up. These guys are curious. What could that be? We have seen so many. Our Guru Vishwamitra also gave us so many Divyastras and Shastras also. What is this? How different is this going to be? We want to test it out. So with that they have this curiosity. Hence they are Dhanur Darshakangshinau. They are desiring to see, wishing to see that Dhanu. So Dhanur Darshaya Ramaya. However, he said both of them want to see, but please show it to Rama. Dhanuhu Darshaya Ramaya, Rajaputraya, to that prince, show that Dhanu, Daivikam, that divine Dhanu, please show it. Ityuktastena Viprena,
Ityuktastena Viprena
Tad Dhanus Samupanayat,
Tadhanus Samupanayat
Nimeshantaramatrena,
Nimeshantaramatrena
Tadanamya Mahabalaha,
Mahabalaha
Jam Samaropya Jhatiti,
Jam Samaropya Jhatiti
Purayamasa Viryavan,
Purayamasa Viryavan
Tena Purayata Vegan,
Tena Purayata Vegan
Madhye Bhagnam Dvidha Dhanuhu,
Madhye Bhagnam Dvidha Danuhu
Tasya Shabdo Bhavat Bhimaha,
Tasya Shabdo Bhavat Dhimaha
Patistasya Shane Riva.
पतितस्य शनैरिव.
So, ityuktah, thus ordered by Vishwamitra, Vipra, Vishesha Prajna Yasya Saha Vipraha. Vishwamitra is a very highly knowledgeable person. So, Viprena Tena Ityuktah, that hey, Dhanurdarshaya Rajaputraya Ramaya, with that small sentence of his. Tad Dhanuhu Samupanayat. Finally, then Janaka ordered it and got it brought in. Upa-anayat. Because it cannot be brought by one person. They had to bring it, that heavy one, in a big artillery cart or whatever. Tad dhanus samupanayat. Nimeshantara. As soon as that was brought, instantly or immediately, in a second or in a minute. Nimeshantara tada Mahabalaha anamya. Then that Mahabala Rama, he did namaskaram to it first. He didn't think it is just any material. He did namaskaram to it first. Anamya jyam samaropya purayamasa jhatiti viryavan. He placed the rope and tied it. Purayamasa. He completed tying the rope on that big bow. Tena Purayata Vegat, in the hurry, in the speed, in the haste that he was trying to trying to tie that bow, very in that haste. Dhanuhu Dvidha Bhagnam. The Dhanu got broken into two. And Tasya Shabdo Bhavat Bhimaha. The sound of that broken arrow became so terrifying. Patihi tasya ashanehe iva. Ashanehe iva bhimaha shabdaha bhavat. Shanaha is slow. Ashanaha bhimaha shabdaha abhavat. So terrifying sound came of breaking that bow in the hurry of tying the rope around it by Mahabala Rama. Tatoham tatra Ramaya
Tato aham tatra Ramaya
Pitra Satyabhisandhina
Pitra Satyabhisandhina
Nischita Datumudyamya
Nischita Datum Udyamya
Jalabhajanam Uttamam.
Jalabhajanam Uttamam.
Tataha, immediately after that, aham tatra Ramaya Satyasandhina Pitra Datum Nischita. Then I was decided by my father to offer me to, by my Satyasandhina, Satya Abhisandhina Pitra, by my father who sticks to his words. He promised, he announced that whoever can lift this and tie the rope, to them I will give my daughter. And here Rama not only lifted, not only tied it, but he also broke it. So he immediately decided and announced that he will offer me to Rama. Datum Udyamya, he stood up to offer. And then that first thing that we do is Jalabhajanam Uttamam. Jalabhajanam is a water pot. You go with kalasha to offer. So Jalabhajanam Udyamya, by lifting the Jalabhajanam, he moved ahead, he moved forward to offer Sita to him. Diyamanam Natu Tada. This is the most important shloka. We should all remember. Because since then that became the trend, not since then, but he set the standard. A divine great person, Yadyadacharate Sreshtaha Tattadevitaro Janaha. So because Rama set that standard, it became a practice since then for us. Diyamanam Natu Tada.
Diyamanam na tatu tada
Pratijyagraha Raghavaha.
Pratijagraha ragavaha
Avijnaya Pituschandam.
Avignaya pituschandam
Ayodhyadipate Prabho.
Ayodhyadipate Prabho.
So he na pratijagraha, Raghavah na pratijagraha tada diyamanam tu. The Raghava, however, he didn't like, hey, Sita, yes, come. He didn't accept like that. Na pratijagraha, he did not accept it. Na accept what? Diyamanam, being offered Sita, he did not accept her. Then, however, what did he say? Pitus chandam ayodhyadipatehe prabhoho pituhu chandam avijnaya. He said, hey, I will accept only upon my father's approval. My father, who is Prabhu, who is the Lord, and who is the Ayodhyadipati, he is the Lord of the Ayodhya. By my father's chandam. Chandam is acceptance or opinion or approval, like that. Upon my father's approval only, I will accept. Till then, I won't. I'm not so independent to ignore my father like that. I will go by his interests only. Tata Shvashuramamantriya.
Tat
Shvashuramamantriya.
Swashuramantriya
Vruddham Dasharatham Nrupam.
Vruddham Dasharatham Nrapam
Mama Pitra Tvaham Datta.
Mama Pitra Tvaham Datta
Ramaya Viditatmane.
Ramaya Vidit Atmane.
So, that's why I said, right, 51st sloka is the trend setter of the Hindu civilization, of the Bharatiya civilization. He said, no love marriages, no self selections. Even if somebody offered, I go by my father. Tata Swashuram Amantriya. Because Sita is narrating, now she is addressing Dasharatha as Swashura, father-in-law. Tataha Vruddham Dasharatham Rupam Swashuram Amantriya. Then my father went to invite my father sent to invite Dasharatha, who is the king in Rupa, Vruddha, who is an elderly person. Such father-in-law of mine was invited by my father, Mama Pitra, by my father. Then Mama Pitra tu aham Ramaya Viditatmane datta, to Rama, who is Viditatma, who is an embodiment of knowledge, awareness, Viditatma, who is a conscious person, who knows what he does, who knows what he says. So Viditatma, Atma, Yasya Vidita, which means one whose self is conscious, whose self is aware, or one who is aware of his self. He's never unconscious, he's never unaware of himself. He's always conscious of himself and goes by whatever is right. So such person is Viditatma, Viditatmane Chaturthi, unto him, unto that Viditatma, Rama, my father offered me after inviting the father-in-law Dasharatha. Mama Chaivanuja Sadhvi.
Mama Chaivanuja Sadhvi.
Urmila Priyadarshana.
Urmila Priyadarshana.
Bharyarthe Lakshmanasyapi.
Bharyarte Lakshmanasyapi.
Datta Pitra Mama Swayam.
Datta Pitra Mama Swayam.
So Mama Chaiva Anuja Sadhvi Urmila. Great, my sister. I have a great sister by name Urmila, who is a Priyadarshana, who is also a beautifully presented lady. Bharyarthe, as a Bharya, Lakshmanasya api Mama Pitra Swayam Dattam, offered my father. Fortunately, coincidentally, having seen both brothers, having two daughters, and both seeming to be worthy of each other, matching each other, my father gladly offered my sister, beautiful sister, Urmila, as wife to Lakshmana. Evam dattasmi Ramaya
एवं दत्तास्मि रामाय
tada tasmin swayamvare
तदा तस्मिन् स्वयंवरे
anuraktasmi dharmena
अनुरक्तास्मि धर्मेण
patim viryavatam varam.
पतिं वीर्यवतां वरम्.
So, evam, thus, you asked me, I was offered in Swayamvara, right? All that story. So, evam, thus, I have narrated all this to you. Evam datta asmi, thus I have been offered to Ramaya datta asmi. I was offered to Rama. When tada tasmin swayamvare, in that big campaign of self realization or self identification of a matching partner. Anurakta asmi. And so I am deeply engrossed and devoted to Rama. Rakta, rati, yasyaha, yasmin, anurakta. So I am deeply into Rama. Anurakta asmi dharmena patim, through with all dharma unto that husband of mine, I am anurakta. And that to that pati who is viryavatam varam. Viryavan is one who is warrior, who is strong. Viryavatam, Shashti Bahuvachanam, of the all Viryavans, among them Varam, the best among the Viryavans, unto such pati, Dharmena Anurakta Asmi. I am with all dharma, I am devoted to him. The dharma of even Sahadharmacharini and Pativrata. Ityarche
यार्षे
Ramayane
श्रीमद्
श्रीमद्
रामायणे
रामायणे
वाल्मीकि
Adikavye
आदिकाव्ये
आदिकाव्ये
Kande
अयोध्याकाण्डे
अयोध्याकाण्डे
अष्टादशोत्तरशततमः सर्गः
अष्टाशीतितमः सर्गः
I recollected 2022 April 17th or 20th, I think. That Saturday, we did the Sita Swayamvaram Balakanda Sarga then. That was during my daughter's, when I went to India for my daughter's marriage. So coincidental, I was divinely blessed. I thought I was so glad that we did Sita Rama Kalyana Sarga just 2 days before my daughter's marriage. And so I was so delighted then, and I was recollecting that year now. And so I am giving a Falashruti now that whoever have heard this, your children will be blessed with the best partners and they will have the best life, is my kind of Falashruti, recollecting my own great incident of my daughter's marriage by reading that Chanda, that by studying that Sarga then. And now Sita Sakshat telling her own life story of how she got married, how she was born, through how she got married to Rama. That great Sarga, having read this, all of us will be blessed with our, or all of our children will be blessed. Itisham. 824. Should we start the next Sarga? Or have some discussion?
Bhogaji, I have to drop. I have some engagement today. So
Okay.
we'll talk later, Bhogaji. Move on.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. And then we will stop here. Anybody has anything to say?
Mahodaya, I have one question.
Kumarji, namaste.
Namo Namaha. So, in movies and all, they show a lot of Rajas came. Ravana also came.
Yeah.
Ravana could not manage it, and the Dhanu fell on him. He could not even lift himself. Is that true? Because
no, in the Balakanda, Ravana is not mentioned then. All other kings are mentioned. All other kings of Bihar, Magadha kings, even from the Videha kings, All other kings are mentioned, but Ravana's name was not explicitly mentioned. Ravana's name first time comes in the 116th Sarga, 115th Sarga.
So
And
Ravana
16.
did not even come to the Swayamvaram, is it?
Might have come, but we do not have a direct narration, direct mention.
Yeah, that is true. So in the Sri Rama Swayamvaram and all, he was not mentioned even.
So, in a way, see, Swayamvaram is not one day event. If you read this, both Balakanda Sarga where Valmiki narrates and this Sarga where Sita is narrating in Ayodhya Kanda,
Oh, okay.
both the times it is a campaign, which means it was announced as and when opportunities were there, everybody used to come and attempt.
Okay, it's not a single event where everybody came.
And so, as I said, in the Balakanda, in fact, it narrates where having several kings, one after another, having tried for so many days and failed, they all, they all gang up. They all meet in one place, gang up, and decide that, damn, let's go, ban Janaka. And so what they do, they surround the Mithila all around, they barricade and stop any transportation for over a year.
I remember that, that time.
So there was no food supplies into Mithila, all of that happens. Right? So it was a big campaign that ran. Where having failed to face the challenge offered by Janaka to obtain Sita, those guys becomes goons and trouble, put the Mithila to trouble. And in such period, finally, Vishwamitra one day happens to come to that Yajna Bhumi where Janaka that day was performing a Yajna, or that period he was performing a Yajna coincidentally. And so this whole thing happened. This Rama Lakshmana, they want to Dhanur Darshakankshinau. They just want to eagerly, curiously watch this
Got it.
Dhanu.
So whatever they show in the movies is just a human creation.
Meaning it is a divine, devotional fantasy from Sitaram, our Tulsidas ji and others later.
Oh, even Tulsidas ji wrote that, right?
Yes. In Sitaramcharita Manas, Ramcharita Manas, that's how he narrates. And hence, since then it became an accepted belief.
Okay. Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya.
Dhanyavadaha.